Welcome to this edition of Take 5. My guest today is Mark Rohrer. Mark is the CEO and president of Rohrer Aesthetics. Mark is not new to the aesthetic industry. He's been around for a long time, and he has seen a lot of ups and downs and previous crises. So I want to get Mark's opinion on how he's going to approach the COVID crisis and what he's going to do for us and our patients. Mark, welcome to the program.
Dr. Dayan, thank you for having me, and thank everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe, their family is safe, and everybody is experiencing good health.
All right, Mark, here's your 5 questions. So question number 1, how has the COVID crisis affected your company?
Okay, well, the first thing I'd like to let everyone know is Rohrer Aesthetics was a healthy company pre-COVID-19, and we're still a healthy company today. We haven't had to furlough anybody. We haven't had to lay anybody off. We haven't cut pay. We hadn't cut 401ks. I would like to say it's been business as usual, but it's more been business as unusual. But the COVID crisis has definitely changed our company. This all came on so quickly. My company was soaring at 30,000 feet, and the next day we were grounded. And so we have experienced some sales slumps. Our phone's not ringing quite as much as it has been, but I think we're going to get through this just fine. And I think we're going to be a better company because of it. And
have your doors been closed during this time period?
We have not been closed at all. Everybody's been working from home except me and our CFO, and our offices are 30 yards apart from each other, but we've been here just so we could answer the phone. If doctors needed anything, we wanted to be here to provide them whatever they needed. But Dr. Dayan, as you know, I've been in this industry for about 30 years. I've had my own company for about 20 years. To me right now, it's not about the changes that Rohrer is going to experience, because I think we're going to be okay. I'm more concerned about the changes that our customers are going to experience from being closed for the last 6 to 8 weeks. So I want to figure out a way how I can give back and help those guys out.
Question number 2 is, do you think the aesthetic market's going to change? I mean, do you think the patients, will we still have patients coming in, will they want aesthetic procedures, will they want device procedures? And you offer many devices through Rohrer Aesthetics, and maybe you can touch on that a little bit. And do you think that will be affected?
Okay, yes, absolutely. I think that there's going to be changes. Yeah, ours are affordable so that they can realize return on investment in a very short period of time. And I think the larger companies, I think their prices are much more that we offer. I think that the consumers, just like the physicians, have not been working for the past 6 or 8 weeks. I think expensive elective procedures are going to be hard to come by. I think affordable elective procedures are something that they're going to be able to afford. You're not going to be able to charge $1,500, $2,000 for a procedure anymore. I think you're going to be able to charge $300, $400, $500, $600 for the procedure, which I think the consumer will pay. But you have to make it where it's going to be affordable for them. And the only way that can happen is if the capital equipment companies make the equipment affordable for you guys. And that's one thing that Rohrer has always been able to do.
So obviously that's very important to me. Capital equipment is very expensive, and right now we're trying to save cash. I don't see many doctors putting out a lot of money, over $100,000 or so, for capital equipment. And so if that comes down, will you see an increased disposable component to your devices that maybe we would pay for?
Well, and that's one thing that we've always prided ourselves away from. We only have 1 or 2 devices that have a consumable, and that's because one of them's RF microneedling, where you get blood on the tip, so it's got to be consumable. And the other one is used for vaginal rejuvenation. Again, those are the only consumables we have. We are trying to keep it, our products were affordable, so you don't have a costly consumable, where you're not held hostage by a company that is controlling your destiny. They can charge whatever they want to for their consumables. So we've prided ourselves on staying away from consumables and disposables unless we just have to offer it.
Okay, so question number 3, Mark, what are you going to do to stimulate my practice and the consumer market? Because certainly we're going to need some help from you as we get back and started.
Okay, and let's address the healthcare professionals practice first. I get it. You haven't been practicing for the last 6 to 8 weeks. And when you open back up, it's going to be a struggle, okay? I think there's 3 things that have to be addressed. The first issue you need to figure out is, how are we going to increase practice revenue, okay? The next thing I think you need to figure out is, how do you increase your cash flow? Third thing you need to figure out is working capital. You're going to need additional working capital so that you can get your practice back to where it was pre-coronavirus. So over the past few weeks, the Rohrer team, in conjunction with Ascenium Capital, have put together a couple of programs that I think where we can meet those needs. The first thing I want to tell you about is we worked out a program with Ascenium. So if you want to obtain a piece of our equipment, and of course, all this is based on credit approval, but you won't have to pay any money down. Okay. So there's no down payment.
So we can get a piece of a device and not put any money down.
No money down.
Okay, so when do we owe you money?
What's that?
When do we owe on it?
Okay. Here's the beautiful thing about the next step I'm going to tell you about. Rohrer is going to make your payments for the first 12 months. Okay. So there's no down payment, and Rohrer will rebate you up front your 12 monthly payments within 48 hours after we're funded. So here's how that works. You buy the piece of equipment from Ascenium, and I'm just going to use these numbers for $59,995. You don't pay any money down. The monthly payment on $59,995 is roughly $1,200 a month. Okay, if you take $1,200 and multiply it times 12 months, that comes out to $14,400. So Ascenium funds Rohrer $59,995. Within 48 hours after we're funded, we cut you a check for $14,400.
Okay, who's Ascenium?
Ascenium Capital is they're a leasing company.
Okay, so we're gonna sign up with the leasing company, and they're gonna. So we have to get approved for the lease, I'm assuming.
Yes, based on credit approval. Yes.
Right, and then the money, that $14,000 is gonna go right to you.
No, they pay us the full amount, the $60,000, the $59,995.
Okay.
Okay, your lease payment for 12 months would total $14,400.
Gotcha.
So immediately after we're paid $59,995, we're going to write your practice a check for $14,400
So we have your device free of charge for 1 year.
for 1 year with no down payment. And with us making the payment for the first 12 months, that addresses the first two issues that we talked about. The increase in revenue, you're going to be able to offer aesthetic procedures, so you'll be able to increase your revenue and also cash flow, because you're not going to have to charge whatever you charge for the procedure for that first year. That's all profit for you. So that's going to increase your cash flow. Now,
So do we get an extra year to pay off the lease, or now do we have to pay off the lease in 4 years instead of 5?
no, it's still a 60-month lease. It's only a 4-year lease. And the nice thing about the lease is if you want to pay it off after a year, after your 12 months has expired, you can pay it off, and they don't penalize you. There's no penalty for paying it off early.
Okay.
So if you want to save the interest, or you can continue to make your $1,200 a month payment. Now, the third issue is working capital. How can we get you working capital? So we have another device called the Pixelate RF. It's a RF microneedling system. It's a 2 megahertz system. It's got insulated and non-insulated needles, and we sell that device for $40,000. So here's the next step that Rohrer is willing to do. If you buy our Pico laser, our Spectrum, or our Body Sculpt for $59,995, we're going to include the Pixelate RF at no cost. So that's a $40,000 value.
Anything else you're going to do for us as doctors? I mean, it's already pretty big, but anything else we can expect?
Absolutely. And here's where the working capital comes in. You can take, and this is totally optional, you don't have to do this, but Ascenium Capital, the finance company, they're willing to let you put that Pixelate RF that we gave you at no cost. They're willing to let you put that up as collateral, and they will rebate you up to an additional $40,000 that you can use as working capital for whatever you need to use it for
So
your
we
practice.
can take a loan from the leasing company.
Yes. And the payment is about $800 a month. But when everything's said and done, you can get Pixelate, a Body Sculpt, a Spectrum, or a Pico laser. You can get any of those, one of those 3 devices, plus a Pixelate, and we'll rebate you $14,400, and the leasing company will give you another $40,000 if you want it. So you can get $54,400.
Okay, so what happens if we default on that $40,000 loan we just took from the leasing company? They get
Well, hopefully you won't default on the loan. But the nice thing about all the equipment you're getting, combined, your payment will be $2,000 a month. You could do 4 Pixelate treatments a month and charge $500 a treatment, and that's going to make the payment on both systems.
Okay.
So this is actually a win-win-win for everybody.
Well, that's a unique program, Mark, and you got very creative in that because no one I've heard is offering such a program. So thank you. Question number 4. As a leader, how has COVID changed you?
Okay. Over the past several weeks, I've had a lot of time to think. I think it's helped me realize that, Dr. Dayan, we truly are all in this together. To make this work, to make this world spin, we all need each other. So I think moving forward and help out more than try to grow my company. Do I want my company to grow? Absolutely. But I would rather be someone who's going to help you. That's really what I want to be remembered for, and the type of leader I want to be is somebody who gives back.
Thank you. Okay, question number 5, your last question. What do you like least and what do you like best being in isolation?
Okay. What I like best is spending time with my family because I do a lot of traveling. What I like least is not being able to, this is going to sound crazy, I miss the trade shows. Okay. The last trade show we were able to attend was Miami Cosmetic Surgery. That was back in February. I miss that. I miss the people. I miss seeing my customers and hearing their success stories. I miss talking to future customers about Rohrer products and why they should buy Rohrer products. And I miss seeing my competitors because they're also my friends. And I guess I just miss the people.
Yeah, I think that's a common theme with many of us. So, Mark, we went way over our time, but this was really fascinating. And I really want to thank you and commend you for coming up with some creative programs that are to help physicians who, at the same time, are feeling the cash strap that many people are. And that's really great. So, thanks so much for being on the program.
Dr. Dayan, I want to thank you for having me. And then I wish you all a great week, and I appreciate your time.
All right, Mark, we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye.